The Willmett family business was one of the earliest substantial businesses in Townsville, because in those days there wouldn't have been very much, and he had to be pretty enterprising. He started a printing factory, because you'd say, well, where's the business coming from? And these were the days before any train connection. The road connection was virtually nil. If you came, you had to either come on a dray or a bullock team or something and get over the Burdekin River somewhere, or hop on a ship. Willmetts originally used to print books. It was a fairly major activity in the town. There are books on the Great Barrier Reef which were printed at Willmetts. The Willmett family, because Thankful's foresight in building a printing works in those early days was one of the few substantial businesses. You're talking about the middle 1880s. Well, he was a fairly prominent personality. He arrived in about 1850, I'm not sure precisely which year, and he came with his wife, and I think he had a couple of children at that stage. And he set up this printing business down on the east end of Flinders Street, opposite where Hale's terminal used to be. And he developed that. And of course, this was the days when they had the old style lead, molten lead type casting. And this probably was one of the reasons why in 1885 he had a fire which caused him to resign from about 4 or 5 of his about 12 or 10 or 12 public offices, including the mayoralty. I understand that there were problems in managing the city's affairs. Talking to people, old-timers, they said that there were problems, financial problems. And I presume that the people, the aldermen and the administrators, were not, as today, educated and qualified. They were well-meaning citizens who pitched in there to run the community. And I understand that the reason that Thankful was the mayor during those years was that he was doing his best to overcome the problem and get the city's financial structure set up and operating properly. Well, I'm Doug Moffat. I'm a Brisbaneite, but I've spent a bit of time around the world. And after I came to Townsville, I met my wife, Patricia Willmett. After a few years, we married. In fact, we married in 1962. Now, at the time of our marriage, Pat was the manager of the bookshop. When Pat and I became engaged, her father said to me, I will give you some shares in the family business, which he did. And it wasn't long before he said to me, would you join the board of directors? He was indicating that he was contemplating retiring because he was well down in his 70s. And he said to me, I want to retire. So I said, Hume, all you need to do is to write a letter to the board of directors and say you are retiring as of a certain date. And the board must then elect a new chairman of directors. And that's how I became the chairman of directors. I think the big problem they had was that in order to develop and expand the business with all the new computerised machinery and equipment, it required a considerable amount of extra capital. Nobody was prepared to come up with the capital. The Bulletin decided apparently they'd like to branch out into commercial printing. So they made an offer for the Willmetts Sons, lock, stock and barrel. I was the chairman of directors at this stage, so I obtained an independent valuation and it was accepted by the board of directors and the business was sold to the North Queensland newspapers. Well, it was what you might call a sad moment in time. A family business had been going since, the 1870s. Was a pretty sad business, particularly with Pat's mother and father, to whom I was very fond. They spent their full life with the business, but certainly the family, which was once prominent in the city, I doubt very much where very many of the local citizens would know the name, which is sad in a way. However, it's on that building in Flinders Street, so it has that, shall we say, reminder. And I would think that there must be some people around still who know the Willmett family, because they were very prominent and they participated in a lot of activities in the city.